Behind the bright lights of 1970s television, where laughter echoed in living rooms across America, lies the untold story of Ralph Carter, the beloved young star who brought Michael Evans to life on Good Times. Rising to fame at just 13 years old, Ralph became a household name overnight. But behind the applause, behind the smiles, and beyond the fame, there existed another story, one filled with struggles, sacrifices, and silent battles that few ever knew. What really happened after the cameras stopped rolling? Where did the boy with the unforgettable smile go when the spotlight faded? And why did one of television's most promising young stars seemingly vanish from Hollywood at the height of his fame? Ralph Carter's journey is one of extraordinary talent, sudden stardom, quiet heartbreak, and ultimate resilience, a story filled with twists and turns that even longtime fans never saw coming. Ralph David Carter's story begins in New York City, where he was born on May 30th, 1961, to his mother, Ms. Lucille Carter, a strong, no-nonsense woman whose warmth and discipline shaped his earliest years. Growing up in a modest household, Ralph found stability and inspiration in his mother's guidance. Through her, he learned the value of hard work, humility, and perseverance, traits that would sustain him long after the applause faded. During his childhood, Ralph formed a close friendship with fellow actor Lawrence Fishburne. Their mothers were close friends, and the two boys grew up sharing dreams neither could have imagined would one day intertwine with Hollywood history. From an early age, Ralph seemed destined for greatness, but what no one knew was how much he would have to overcome to get there. At just 9 years old, Ralph stepped onto the Broadway stage, setting in motion a journey that would forever change his life. In 1973, his breakout moment arrived when he landed the role of Travis Younger in Raisin, the Tony Award-winning adaptation of Lorraine Hansberry's classic A Raisin in the Sun. His performance captivated audiences and critics alike, earning him the Drama Desk Award for Most Promising Performer, the Theatre World Award, and even a Tony Award nomination for Best Featured Actor in a Musical. At such a young age, Ralph had already achieved what many seasoned actors only dream of. While other child performers faded quickly, Ralph's early work cemented him as a rare talent, one whose natural charisma and emotional depth set him apart. But even at this stage, fame was already beginning to cast its long, complicated shadow. Then, in 1974, Ralph's life changed forever. Legendary producer Norman Lear, known for creating shows that pushed boundaries and tackled real social issues, handpicked Ralph for his next groundbreaking sitcom, Good Times. Lear believed Ralph had the rare ability to bring authenticity and heart to the role of Michael Evans, the youngest son in a struggling Black family living in a Chicago housing project. To secure Ralph for the role, Lear even bought him out of his Broadway contract, a move that showed just how strongly he believed in the young actor's potential. For 6 seasons, from 1974 to 1979, audiences watched Ralph transform into Michael Evans, affectionately nicknamed the Militant Midget for his bold, outspoken views on racial and social justice. Michael questioned authority, challenged the system, and gave voice to conversations America often wasn't ready to have about poverty, inequality, and systemic racism. Ralph brought an authenticity to Michael that couldn't be faked, blending his personal beliefs with the character's convictions so seamlessly that the line between actor and role nearly disappeared. But behind the laughter and applause, life on the Good Times set wasn't always as cheerful as the show made it seem. Tensions sometimes brewed between cast members, creative teams, and executives about the direction of the series. Some actors struggled with the balance between comedy and addressing serious social issues. For Ralph, still just a teenager, carrying the weight of being a cultural voice was no easy task. Week after week, he was thrust into storylines that tackled racism, class divides, and generational conflicts, themes far heavier than most kids his age were ever asked to confront. And yet, Ralph handled the responsibility with remarkable grace. Millions of viewers saw him as a beacon of hope and intellect, someone unafraid to speak truth to power, on screen and off. But as Ralph was learning, Hollywood can be as ruthless as it is rewarding. When Good Times came to an end in 1979, Ralph's career faced an unexpected turning point. He was just 18, standing on the threshold of adulthood, and yet the industry that had once embraced him now seemed unsure where to place him. Roles were scarce, particularly for young black men in Hollywood, and despite his undeniable talent, Ralph struggled to find meaningful opportunities. Casting directors couldn't seem to see him as anyone other than Michael Evans, and the typecasting became a silent obstacle he couldn't easily overcome. To keep his passion for performance alive, Ralph turned to music. In 1976, during his time on Good Times, he released the album Young and in Love, which featured the Billboard charting single, When You're Young and in Love. Nearly a decade later, in 1985, he released the single Get It Right, hoping to carve out a space for himself in the music world. While his musical ventures showcased his versatility, they didn't achieve the same success as his acting. Throughout the 1980s, Ralph also performed as a nightclub singer, staying connected to the stage even as Hollywood seemed to drift further away. Away from the cameras and stages, Ralph faced private struggles. As a young black child actor in the 1970s, he endured pressures few could truly understand. He received hate mail, a staggering reality for someone barely into his teens, and rumors about his sexuality circulated for years, fueled by stereotypes tied to Broadway performers and his youthful voice. Yet Ralph chose silence over confrontation, protecting his privacy and focusing instead on building a life that brought him peace and purpose. In 1987, Ralph married Lisa Parks, and together they welcomed two sons, Michael and James. Though their marriage ended in 1992, Ralph found love again with River York, whom he married in 1994. Together, they built a family with 3 children, Phoenix, Jessica, and Viva, creating a foundation of stability away from the constant demands of the public eye. Stepping away from mainstream television didn't mean Ralph abandoned his love for the arts. Instead, he discovered a deeper calling, championing black artistry and representation in theater. As vice president of the Audelco Awards, an organization dedicated to honoring excellence in black theater, Ralph continues to uplift emerging talent and amplify underrepresented voices. He also pursued playwriting, authoring works like Grandma's Hands, which premiered at the National Black Theater Festival, and has supported scholarship programs for aspiring artists from marginalized communities. Today, Ralph Carter lives in New York City, maintaining a modest, middle-class lifestyle in a luxury apartment. He has chosen a life of balance, prioritizing family, personal fulfillment, and artistic advocacy over the pursuit of constant fame. While Hollywood's spotlight may have dimmed, Ralph's influence has never disappeared. His impact remains deeply felt in theater, television history, and among fans who grew up watching him. In 2024, Ralph reunited with his Good Times co-stars to celebrate the show's 50th anniversary, a moment filled with nostalgia, reflection, and gratitude. The reunion reminded audiences of the show's groundbreaking cultural impact and how Ralph, as Michael Evans, helped shape conversations about race, family, and identity that remain relevant even today. Now in his 60s, Ralph Carter is no longer the teenage star America first fell in love with, but his legacy has grown far beyond that role. With an estimated net worth of around $1 million, his life stands as a testament to resilience, reinvention, and quiet strength. From Broadway's dazzling lights to television history, from personal struggles to uplifting future generations, Ralph Carter's story is one of determination and purpose. His journey reminds us of a powerful truth. Real success isn't defined by how long the cameras stay on you. It's defined by the lives you touch, the art you create, and the impact you leave behind. Ralph Carter's story is proof that even when the spotlight fades, greatness can endure. Thank you for watching.